Hello, witches. I am High Priestess or Phoenix. We are now 27 days away from Samhain, when the veil between the living and the dead will be at its thinnest. So I wanted to share my experience with an ancestor that has since passed away, because in the month of October, spirit activity involving loved ones and pets that have passed away before us is more active. So in the month of October, you may very well, not for everybody though, not for everybody, you may very well experience loved ones and pets that have passed away. When I say loved ones, I mean loved ones. I don't mean the abuser in the family. I don't mean your creepy uncle. I don't mean a rapist. I don't mean a murderer in your family. I mean an actual loved one in your family. And just to put this out there, because I know some witches try to do this, Michael Jackson, Elvis is not your ancestor. Michael Jackson, Elvis is not your ancestor. They're not. They don't know you. They don't know you. Celebrities that have passed away are not your ancestors. Do not put them on your altar with your actual ancestors. They will not respond to you because they did not know you in life. You see, witches who do that have an obsession with the dead when it comes to celebrities. Sinatra, JFK, all those people that have passed on was not your relative. You are not speaking to Michael Jackson. You are not. Why? Because he's not your ancestor. I know that sounds really harsh, but I have to say that. Because a lot of witches try to reach out to celebrities because they feel, which I feel is actually mental illness, that this celebrity is actually their ancestor and is going to help them when doing spells. And they are not. Because they are not your ancestor. That's why. So going back to what I was talking about myself and my experience with an ancestor that had helped me out a couple of years ago, my great aunt Thelma was 92 years old when she passed away in 2011. I was 20 years old. Me and my great aunt Thelma, because she would kill me if I did not introduce her as my great aunt. I could never call her Thelma. You know how some people call their aunts by their first name and don't put the aunt in front of it? I could never do that with my aunt, with my great aunt. I always had to call her Aunt Thelma. So she passed away in 2011 at 92 years old, natural causes. And me and her were very, very close. I mean, we had such a bond. I still miss her. I still miss her. I still wish she was here. If she was here, I believe she would be 104 or 105 years old, because she was born in 1918. That's why she's my great aunt. So I know she would definitely, right now, if she was alive, she would be over 100 years old. So me and her had a fantastic relationship. She's one ancestor in October that I give special treatment to. Special treatment to. No other ancestor gets special treatment like my Aunt Thelma. No ancestor does, because no ancestor has had an impact on my life like my great Aunt Thelma. So going back to this, when she passed away, she had a will, and I was mentioned in her will, and I got some money from her will, which of course I deserve money. Why would I not be included in the will? So it was me and my other siblings, but it was not her first niece. Her first niece being my mother, who has also since passed away. So my mother wanted to go to court because she wanted possession of the land that was my aunt. And her cousin, who is my cousin, wanted the land also. But in the will, in that will, there was no mention of the land. It was just, abandoned. So we had to go to court, the whole family. Honestly, the whole family did not have to go to court. It was just my mother that had to go to court. But she, was like, make a big spectacle out of it. She took me and my siblings to court with her to get possession of this land. So we went to court. The judge was really nice, though. Like, what? In New York? The judge was really nice, though. And she determined that the land belongs to my cousin that we took to court to get the land because she was first. She was a first niece. I'm a second niece. That's why. So the judge awarded her the land. And I was pissed about that because she was not really around in the last years of my great aunt Thelma's life. She wasn't. That's the truth. She was not really around unless it had something to do with money. Listen, when my aunt passed away, she had money. She had a lot of money to her name, all right? That's not important. The important thing is that this woman, my cousin, is a gold-digging bitch. And I was upset about that. I tried to contest it, and we lost again in court. Okay, fine. So, I think to myself, this woman is a squatter. She's in possession of land illegally. I don't care what the court says. She is in possession of land illegally. She is a squatter. She does not deserve this land. She doesn't. So I didn't say anything. I didn't punch her in the face. I didn't kick her in the face like I wanted to do. But I didn't let it go either. Oh, no. I don't. You see, I'm the type of person who don't let guilty people go free. I'm not into revenge. I'm into settling the score. Because she does not deserve that land. Well, she didn't deserve that land. I'm getting to that. So, when Samhain in 2012, I knew it was time for me to make my move. So I summoned my great aunt Thelma to pass through that veil between the living and the dead and to assist me with getting hold of this land, doing something to this land to make this woman give it up. I have to do something to this land that she is illegally in possession of for her to give it up. So I traveled all the way down, took a plane down to South Carolina. I did. And I took dirt from that land, brought it back to New York, and I did a curse on that land from the dirt that I got from that land. I did, absolutely. I just said she is illegally in possession of that land. She's a squatter, and she needs to go. She needs to go. She needs to go. She does not deserve that land. So I did my curse on that land with the dirt that I got from the land. And I started hearing from other relatives all the problems she was having with the land. The land would not grow grass. It stayed bare. It stayed dead. There was no life coming from the land. Nothing would grow. No flowers, no fruits, no vegetables. None of that was growing. The grass stayed brown. She had animals on that land, a cow, a goat, and a horse, and they would only eat off of the land. So if she tried to feed the animals on the land that I had cursed, they would not eat from there, but they would eat in a different area, in a different property. They would eat. And she was having problems with her animals because they were losing weight because they were not eating. I'm telling you, animals know. Animals know when something's wrong, when something is very wrong. Animals know. So she was having all these problems with her land, not There was not life at all on that land. And then the bills pile up because she's not producing a harvest. She's having no vegetables, no fruits, no flowers. The grass stayed brown. In the springtime, you see other properties, in abundant fruit and vegetables and greenery, and her land is not. I said this before, which is a curse can only work if it is justifiable. A curse can only work if the person deserves to be cursed. That's why my curse worked, because she deserved to be cursed. So she's drowning in debt. She's drowning in bills because her land is not making money because of me. Because of me. Because of me. And I feel nothing about it because, like I just said, it's a justifiable curse. She deserves to be cursed. And she will be. I knew it was going to happen. So I'm hearing different rumors and, conversations about how bad her land is. And, her land is not doing that great. It's doing bad. It's dying. It's getting worse. So I'm just going to keep this going until she gets off the land that she has no right to. Gets off the land that you have no rights to. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here, you dumb bitch. So eventually, she got overwhelmed in debt, overwhelmed in bills, and she had to sell the land. And she decided to give it back to my family. But she still was responsible for all the bills. So she had to pay those bills. Okay, you get the land back to us, but not the bills. The bills are still in your name and your SS number. So they still have to be paid by you. Paid by you. So my family decided to sell the land. And the person who is now in possession of the land that I had originally cursed, their land now is green. Their land now has fruits and vegetables and flowers, and their animals are healthy and happy and being fed and feeding off that property. And she now lives in her house somewhere here in New York, whatever, because it was a justifiable curse. She was illegally in possession of this land. And she had to go. She had to go. I was not going to let her keep that land. So I sold it to somebody else, and then the land came to life. Now the grass is green. Now not right now, but now the leaves on the trees have turned color, because it's autumn. It's just the land is full of life now. Because of what I did. We know that as witches, sometimes we have to bend rules to get what we want or to get justice. If it is justifiable. A curse only works if the person or persons deserve to be cursed. Simple as that. Simple as that. And I did that with the permission of my great aunt Thelma. Because my great aunt Thelma knows that she was not around in the last years of her life. So now when she passes away, she wants to come out of the woodwork, asking for shit, wanting shit, illegally occupying land that she has no right to. No. The last thing I heard about my cousin was that she had a stroke. I don't care if you had a stroke. Good for you. Maybe this will be a lifetime lesson for the rest of the remaining of your life to not be a squatter, to not come into possession of property that is not yours. Because somebody like me, probably me again, will take it from you. That's it. That's how you have to treat people. Because nobody gets a pass. Nobody gets away with no traditional experience with the Queen of Witches Hecate. So alongside my aunt, with her permission, I cursed someone that was deserving of a curse. The curse worked. And this person, my cousin, her name is Sonora, is no longer in possession of that land. Because it was never hers to begin with. So this is why I'm telling you, witches, to make sure to call on your ancestors in October. Call on loved ones. Don't call on celebrities. That celebrity that passed away is not your ancestor, okay? In October, call on loved ones that have passed before you and ask them to assist you while you are doing witchcraft. So you don't have to go it alone. So you can hear their voice, only their voice, to make the right decision on what you need to do concerning what you are doing at the altar. Just ask them. Just ask them. Especially if you had a close-knit relationship like I did with my aunt Delma. Ask them. Ask them. So I wanted to come on here live and share my experience with my ancestor a couple of years back to encourage you, which is to honor and call on your ancestors in the month of October, because they are here to help you if you want the help. So thank you, witches, for joining me live on this broadcast. Be sure to share this broadcast in your story and your other social media platforms. Tell your fellow witches that there is a high priestess in New York who is anointed and appointed by the Queen of Witches to speak on the behalf of witches and witchcraft, so that they can have real significant and permanently positive change through witchcraft. Now I release you into the rest of your day. Bye, everyone.